I'm recording. Am I recording? I'm recording. Okay. So we're talking about getting ready for skills. So the easiest one would be if you have an object and you need to extrude something. Doing that in edit mode is going to be your best bet. I like to use the faces, and essentially it's E on the computer, or this one, the extrude region. I like the E on the computer. And depending on which side of the face you get, it's going to dictate the direction already. So it essentially just builds up sideways, however large you want to go. So that's extruding an object, which is easy. Next, I'm going to go to Boolean because Boolean is easier, and then we'll get into lathing / lofting. So to Boolean, you would create whatever you want as well. Boolean is to create a hole, okay? So if you need a hole in something, this is where you would Boolean. I'm going to rotate this and then change this to 90. Okay. I think I want to also change that to 90 and then make that 0. There we go. Okay. But I'm also going to size this on the x-axis. Oh, or not. Okay. Control Z. Size X. There we go. Okay. I like it to be a little bit larger. It kind of helps. Okay. You're going to start with the object that you want the hole in. Okay. So grabbing that one and then going to the modifier and grabbing Boolean in the second one. Okay. And your object is going to be cylinder, okay? There might be other things, but cylinder. Right now it doesn't look like much, but you want to make sure to parent, so child first, parent. The reason why is because if you go to move this object, the Boolean will disappear. And then you hit H on the keyboard or the little eyeball next to cylinder, but I'm going to hit H on the keyboard. I accidentally hit move, and it gives you a hole. Okay, that's what Boolean does. Boolean gives you a hole. Okay, I'm going to delete that. I'm also going to delete my cylinder because since it was hidden, you don't delete it. I'm going to import image as a plane. I have it set up with the nodes, not the nodes, but under preferences, you can do that. So I'm going to go to my Blender skills folder. I'm going to grab this glass and import it. I can't see it because this is not turned on. Once I turn that on, I should be able to see it. Okay. So I'm going to lift this up so it's sitting on the coordinates. Okay, so if I go 3 on my computer. Okay, so, and you can scale this and make it big, but again, what we're using it for, you can do it smaller. So we're gonna add a curve, we're gonna add a Bezier curve, okay? Right now it's laying like this, okay? Which is fine. We're gonna go to edit mode, okay? And clicking on this first one, I'm going to change it to, where is it? Handle type vector. If you don't have it on vector for these handles, then it's going to have a hard time moving the way you want it to move. So I'm going to lift this one up off the plane, and then I'm also going to move it to try and be as much on this center point as possible. And I can move the plane back. I'd rather do that because that keeps you from getting a hole. When you have it just slightly off, even if it's like that, where it's slightly off and not quite center, you're gonna get a hole. I found that out very quickly. So what I'll do is I'll actually take my plane, going back to object mode, I'll take my plane and move it back. Nope, let's go to X, it's on X. Okay, so I'm gonna move it back. So when I go into edit mode, if I had the curve clicked on, and then edit mode. Okay. So right now, it's set up like that. So I'm going to move this to be here in the center. So I'm going to go with that one. Let's see. And then pan this up. Okay. Because I want to be close as possible to do this. Okay. And I'm going to lift this one up. And then I'll move it over. Okay. And you'll see why vector is the best for this, because vector makes it so you can do curves. If you don't have it on vector, it doesn't want to curve. Okay, so I have my 2 points. I'm good. I'm going to hit E for extrude. This is where extruding comes in the most, and I'm going to put it there. These 2 points on either side are the points that you use to move your. So it's not going to do anything for that one, but this one will. Watch it curve. So vector helps it curve. So if I go to this point and it's not curving right, I can move it to help make it curve. And then I'll just speed this section up in the video so that you can see what happens when you do this. Okay, now that I have all the points, I'm going to go now to object mode. I'm going to hide my plane. So you can see how I have just one half of the outline for this object. So I'm going to click this. I'm going to go to modifier, and I'm going to go screw. Okay. Right now, it's perfect, and there's no holes. I mean, I have a little hole here at the bottom, which again can be fixed by moving that point to make sure that it's center on the axis. But I don't have a hole in the top, which is good. Or on the inside. So right now it's set to Z. It's perfect. I don't have to do anything. But if you needed to change it, that's what happens when I change it to the Y-axis. You know, it spins it that way. If I set it to the X-axis, that's what happens. So it just depends on the object. Sometimes it will spin. Okay. But there's my glass, and that was used from a photo. So that's how you do lathing / lofting. They're kind of the same thing when I looked it up. So those are the stuff with Blender. Now to get to the stuff that most people might not know, which if you're an animation person, you might not know it. So I'm going to actually go here first, which is orthographic view or orthographic projection. Okay, it's representing a 3D object in 2D views. This is more based off of architecture. 3D animation really doesn't use this. In the sense that we don't use it in this way. We use it in turnarounds. But if you have any questions, I would look up this video, beginning orthographic projection. This was, I think, the best video I saw out of all of them, explaining how to build an orthographic view. And the reason why I think it's the easiest is because they use graph paper. They're not using all these extra gadgets. So to understand how to do an orthographic projection, or view as they call it, to try and build that also into your storyboard. So that is everything that you need to know for some of building in what they are asking for when it comes to Skills USA. So those are the things that they are asking for, how to do. So once you have those handles and understandings, then you are good. They do say not to use textured, anything textured or bump map. They want scaling and coloring. Remember accurate scaling, if they have units. So if you have any questions on how to change units, you would go to this little cube here, I think. No, or is it this? Oh, no. It's the raindrop. It's the raindrop. And you would change your units to metric, from metric to imperial if they're using inches. Okay? Metric is meters and centimeters and millimeters. Metric is inches and feet and yards. So right there, feet, pounds, seconds, Kelvin, even though we don't use Kelvin. Oh, I think we use Fahrenheit. So those are to help you get your best scaling and best coloring for what they're asking you to do in a scene. Oh, and then the last thing is a 3-point, let me grab that, 3-point, oops, lighting. So to do that, you have your key light, either your key light or your fill light, wherever you want to put it. Your object, your camera is going to be here, so this one would probably be our best bet. And then backlight. So if I wanted to do that in here, I'm going to scroll out, okay? I'm going to move my camera because I don't want my camera there. I'm going to move it over here because it makes it easier a lot of the times to, oops, let's do this on the y-axis, to see. And let's see. Okay, see, I'm still not on the middle line. It makes it easier to move and see stuff if you're in that viewpoint. Okay. So let's say this is my key light, okay? I'm gonna put my key light over here a little bit, maybe move it down just a little bit for my scene, okay? I'm going to I'll add another point light, which is over there. I'm going to move it up, and then X, G, Y, okay, so it's on the side. When it comes to lighting, see, this is at 10 watt. This one's at 1,000. Let's say this one, let's roughly. Again, always judge based off of what you think, okay? And then I'm wondering if I can duplicate this. Shift D, X, yeah. Because your key, not your key light, but your fill light and your backlight are usually going to be the same intensity. I wonder if this one explains lighting. This is also called a kicker. So you can see in this one how bright the key light is and how lighter this one is. But even the key light and the backlight looks brighter. But I would just personally, do it like this. Maybe move the backlight just a little bit more to the back. If you wanted it to be a little bit cooler, adding a little bit more of a different tone to it. I still want to make this a lighter blue. Okay. Let's see what my camera sees real quick. Okay. So that light's going to definitely show up. So maybe I should move that light up just a little bit, just so it's out of view. Because you don't want to have this bright light in your render. So let me click that real quick. Okay. Maybe it's because of the scene that I'm in. Okay, render, image. It could be the scene that I'm in, that it doesn't look very good. Also, the reason why I forgot to hide that from the camera. So if you don't want to see something in the camera, so I don't want to see the glass for lathe, I would turn off that camera. Okay, turning off that camera, and then we have this. So you can see the blue light just right here. But if the scene had more color and was set up in a room, it would look different. But it's just floating out in space. But I hope that helps and hopes you get you prepared for competing in state competition for Skills USA.